everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back on my channel. Today's video is going to be a group review of MAC mascaras. I have spent the last 6 months testing 12 MAC mascaras to let you know all in one video what I think about them. So each review I will be giving you an idea if it gives you some volume, some length, how it performed, if it flaked, if it smudges. I will be including pictures of close-ups so you can see them in action while I give you my personal thoughts on them, the ones that ended up being disappointing, the ones that ended up being favorites. I decided to categorize them in 3 categories because I couldn't really place them from number 1 to number 12, you know what I mean? So I ended up putting them, the first category is going to be the ones that were disappointing, not worth the money type thing. The second category is going to be a mix of okay, kind of meh to good but not holy grail, and then the last category is going to be the ones that are like my favorite ones, the one that I would definitely recommend. So enough chit chat, let's just jump into it. I think this one would be the one that I would consider the worst of them, or at least it's in the worst category, the ones that I would not recommend. So this one is called the Zoom Fast Black Lash Mascara, and it just looks like a normal packaging, and it has a natural bristle brush. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's a fairly common looking brush. But this was messy AF, like ridiculously messy. It was clumpy, it wasn't separating, it didn't like curl length, some volume, but like very, very messy, clumpy looking one. It smudged, it flaked, and overall it's everything that you don't really want in a mascara. Like it didn't do much, like it made my lashes look black and like very wet looking. Even as it dried, it still didn't end up looking better. And basically, you know when you buy your first mascara, like $1 mascara because you don't want to spend money on it, and you're just like, I applied some mascara, I guess. Yeah, that's what this mascara was. Honestly, this was a huge no. Would not recommend this to absolutely anyone. Again, this one is the Zoom Fast Black Lash. Probably my least favorite of the bunch. Like, I know some of the ones will be like very, very natural, almost nothing looking, but at least they look natural, you know? This one just looked yucky, so no. Definitely not worth the money. The next one was also pretty terrible in my opinion, and it is the False Lash Extreme Black Mascara. This one claims on the packaging to give you some volume and curl, and this is what the packaging looks like. It's kind of weird-ish looking. You open it, and it's another natural bristle brush. This one is a little bit more pointier towards the end, and honestly, once again, my best description of this is a $1 mascara. You know when you buy an e.l.f. mascara for $1, you don't have super high expectations, and it just gives you some blackness on the lashes, kind of curl a little maybe, kind of give you some volume. That's basically what this was, but with like a $20 price tag. I mean, this was just very like meh, like if I have nothing else and I'm like, I need to apply mascara, sure, but would not spend the money on it, you know? And it did smudge a little bit too, so overall another thing that I would completely skip. Like even if you like a natural mascara, there's other ones that I will be mentioning that were better than this. Another disappointing mascara would have to be this one. This is the Extended Play Gigablack Lash Mascara, and this one is very tiny compared to the other ones. Like if I just give you an example of like the mascara box, and everything is tiny about this one. Like the brush, super, super small. It is fairly long, but like very, very thin. And another one that I would categorize them as the $1 mascara, that like it gave me a bit of length, some blackness, didn't curl my lashes. But this one, my biggest issue with it is that it was the messiest mascara ever. Well, maybe not as the first one, but like really up there. I felt like there was so little product on my lashes, but I ended up with quite a bit on my eyelids. So it wasn't as bad as the other one mentioned, but it just one of those that you apply and you're like, what did you even do? So definitely not worth the money. I just feel like there's not much to say. Like it claims to give you some length and definition. Kind of maybe, but even as a lower lash mascara, I feel like the brush ended up being very messy all over my face more than the lashes. So it wouldn't be something that I would recommend even for that. So there's just not much to say. Didn't do much at all. In the next category, I'm going to be reviewing the one that were between okay to good. So the ones that I'm like, they weren't bad enough that I would put them in the very disappointing category, but they weren't good enough that I wanted to put them in my favorites. But there's a few is just because of personal preferences, so just listen to the review and see if that's something that would work for you or not. I wanted to review this one. This one is called the Opulash Optimum Black that is supposed to give you some volume and curl. And I have to say, when I read this on the box and then opened it and saw this ridiculously huge wand, not plastic bristle, natural bristles, the first thought that came to my mind is like, first off, this is huge. Like, this is the size of my eye. But I never really get great curl with natural bristles that are like this big. So I was kind of like skeptical. And I have to say it was very messy simply due to the size of the wand. Like, there's no way this won't go everywhere. It did give me some volume and length, but no curl. Like, that was just not a curling mascara. And it was overall pretty basic, just, you know, a mascara on my lashes. But unfortunately for me, I don't think my eyes liked it. And I don't know, like, if I got an old one or something. I feel like it already smelled when I started using it, so my eyes were just not very happy with it. And it did end up flaking a bit too, so overall that was very, like, it wasn't like horrible, but it just wasn't something I would want to use again. Next, I want to talk about this mascara. This is the Sculpt Super Black Lash. It's supposed to give you intense length and definition. And the packaging also kind of just normal looking, but the brush is very, very strange. So as you can see, it's like flat all over, except like 2 rows of very long plastic bristles. And one of my main problem with it was the fact that the bristles, since there's only 2, they were kind of long, so you can easily like poke yourself in the eye. But it is, like, I understand the definition part because yes, it is separating, but even if you use the flat side to add product on the lashes, I don't feel like there was enough product to then afterwards, you know, separate them. So this is definitely something I would mix with something else to get what I want. It kind of reminded me a like bad version of the L'Oreal, I can't remember, like blue packaging, they were like mascara butterfly something. Kind of remind me a little bit of that. So this was good on the lower lashes, but not enough thickness and too much length in the little bristles. So yeah, a very, very strange one. Definitely felt like I was brushing my lashes. So again, if you have like very clumpy looking lashes due to another mascara, you can go back with this one and separate them. Is it worth spending the money just to use as a brush? Probably not. But I mean, if you like something that is extremely natural, you really don't want any clumpiness whatsoever, just a little bit of color and just brushing your lashes, then that could be something for you. But it's just a barely there looking mascara on its own. Another one that was okay to good would be this one. This is the Pro Beyond Twisted Lash. It's supposed to give you volume and length, which are 2 things that obviously pretty much everyone wants. And the packaging is definitely a little bit more fun looking than the other ones. The brush, kind of gimmicky, warning you, because it looks fairly normal, but then you can like bend it. It's like metallic, I don't know what's going on. And it is it even natural bristle? Yeah, it's like very, very short natural bristles. So every time I think they're gonna be plastic, but they're not. It claims to give you, like I said, volume and length. It gave me some length, but I have naturally pretty long lashes. But since it doesn't really curl the lashes, you kind of don't really see it unless you go ahead and curl your lashes beforehand. But I don't feel like it gave me much volume. It didn't really separate the lashes either, not that it claims to. And it ended up being something that I would categorize as a good mascara for my lower lash especially. It does okay on its own on my top lashes, but it's just not something I would go for on a daily basis just because there's other things I prefer. If I'm stuck using it for a month, it would be fine, but it's just not one of my favorite ones, not something I would repurchase or even think about after using it up. So yeah, it's a decent mascara, it's just not something I would repurchase. Then we have the Haute and Naughty 2 Black Lash Mascara. The packaging, it looks like this. There's like the glittery part, and then it is a natural bristle brush. And you get this version too. So it's like a 2-in-1 type of thing. And to be honest, it was a very average mascara. Like, you would not know if I spent a lot of money on it or not. It gave me a bit of volume, but didn't really curl them, didn't give me that much length, didn't really give me the illusion of more lashes or separating. It was just a very I put mascara on, but not as bad as the other ones to be categorized in the bad ones. So it's definitely an okay mascara because it wasn't overly clumpy or anything, but It was just an okay mascara. It put mascara on my lashes, but that was it. The next one was definitely a good mascara. It's the False Lash Mascara. This one is supposed to give you some volume and curl, and this is what the packaging looks like. And you get this natural brush, which you might be like, Emily, you just showed something similar, which yes, but they're apparently different formulas. And this one was definitely better than the False Lash Extreme. The only thing is I feel like I got kind of an old one because it was already kind of dry. I don't know if it's the formula in general or just the one that I got, but I still liked it enough that I wanted to put it in the good category. It's definitely a very natural looking one. It curled a little bit my lashes, gave me some nice volume and length, which is why I put it kind of in the natural looking everyday mascaras. I was very happy to use this on a daily basis. It didn't really flake or smudge, which was my worry since it was already pretty dry. So if you like something that isn't overly clumpy, that just gives you a very natural but still kind of a nice effect on the lashes, and you love natural bristles, because I know some people really don't like plastic ones, definitely something I think is good. Not holy grail, but definitely one of the best ones that I've tried from MAC. The last one in this category was definitely something else that I enjoyed very much, but not enough that it would be a holy grail like the ones I would recommend. It was very good mascara. It's actually the first one that I've tried, so I was like, oh, you know, maybe MAC mascaras are actually worth the money. And this is this one. It is the MAC Mineralized Multi-Effect Lash. The packaging is a little strange looking, as you can see. Like the part that you hold, it kind of like almost like, you know, NARS packaging type thing. You get a small natural bristle brush, and it's another one that is like a nice everyday look for me. Didn't really curl my lashes, and it was kind of heavy on the lashes, so even if you do curl them, I feel like the formula might weigh them down throughout the day. But it gave me some nice volume, a little bit of length, not clumpy, and definitely the illusion of multiple lashes, which is why in my head this is a great everyday mascara, because it wasn't over the top, kind of still natural-ish, but gave me pretty much everything I want. So not a holy grail, but definitely something I could mix with something else that would give me a little bit more curl. And I think it's a good mascara. If you like to curl your lashes naturally, you don't have an issue with them staying curled, this is definitely something that you would probably like. It gave me a nice look overall, as you can probably see in the picture anyway. So definitely a good mascara. I gave it a thumbs up, but it's not part of my favorites, which is my next category. Now we're gonna go towards the one I would recommend, and I'm actually wearing this one, so if you were wondering what's on my lashes, it is this one. This is the MAC in Extreme Dimension Lash Mascara that is supposed to give you some volume and curl. So this is what the packaging looks like. It's very, very strange, and it's one of my only complaints about it is the fact that the wand is really awkward to hold because of the packaging. So as you can see, it's not necessarily the best grip, but it's definitely something you can deal with if you end up loving it as much as I do. So as you can see, it kind of looks like it's going to be a normal brush, but there's actually some like space in between the tiny plastic bristles. Personally, I'm definitely a fan of these type of brushes. I feel like they definitely give me some volume, and it's easy to just separate and curl my lashes using it. It's definitely one of those formula that gets better as it dries down a little bit. At first it's a little too wet, but now it's actually perfect. It gives you lots of volume, and they do say this one is the darkest black or blackest black? Black Extreme, close enough. And definitely gives me some really dark black lashes. It's a little clumpy, but personally I find it to be clumpy in a good way. It also gives me some length, although I do have pretty long lashes. But what I like the most about it is the fact that it gives the illusion of having more lashes than I have, so always a fantastic thing when a mascara does that. So if you were looking for a mascara that was worth the money from MAC, I definitely think this one is a great one. So this is the one that I'm wearing right now. I wanted to show you close up, even though you probably saw it in the pictures, but I feel like it's always nice to also see them in action. So this is what it looks like on my lashes. I think it's a great one, totally would recommend. I've been wearing it a ton. The second one that I think is worth the money is this one, the one that looks like a MAC lipstick, but very, very long. So as you can see. This one is called the Upward Lash. It's supposed to give you volume and curl also. And the brush is incredibly tiny, but like ridiculously tiny. I was actually surprised with this mascara because I expected it to be a good like lower lash mascara, which it is. But even though it was pretty wet and clumpy, it still ended up being separating and definitely ended up being something I loved. Not so much length, although it doesn't claim to because it was saying volume and curl, but definitely gave me the volume and the curling. Once it dried a little bit, it really started working very well. I don't feel like this is as dramatic as the one that I'm wearing right now, but it gave me more of the like fluttery lashes look, which I really enjoy. So if you're looking for something very simple, kind of natural, but gives you still that like fluttery lashes that gives you some curl and volume, definitely a great mascara to check out. The next one is a little gimmicky, but I still enjoyed it enough that it needed to be in the one that I consider my favorites. And it is the MAC Instacurl Lash. And you might be wondering, what is this thing? And the funniest part is once you look at the wand, as you can see, it has a little bit of a curl, but you can make it extra curly by moving the wand like this. So it's very strange. I don't feel like it actually helped me that much. Personally, could be depending on your eye shape, for example, but I liked the formula and the wand enough that curl or no curl, it still worked very well. It is another one with short plastic bristle. It does need to dry quite a bit before it performs as best as it can. It gave me some length, some curl. It was lengthening and not clumpy. I think I still prefer the two other ones that I just mentioned, but it still ended up being one of my favorite ones that I've tried from them. I still catch myself grabbing this one over other ones that I know I prefer just because of the one, the fact that it's yellow and curly and everything. Yes, it's gimmicky, but as long as the product works, I kind of don't mind when a product's a little gimmicky, so definitely another one of my favorites from MAC. So overall, as you can see, there's only 3 that ended up being something I would repurchase personally, or at least wear on their own. So kind of overall, kind of disappointed, to be honest. I feel like MAC is such a brand that like everyone knows, it's available worldwide, and I kind of understand why their mascaras are not something I hear anyone mention or talk about. Probably because overall, a lot of them are fairly disappointing. With that said, I do feel like the ones that I really enjoyed are worth the money, but considering it's only 3 out of 12, I can see why people would get discouraged and kind of skip on them in general. So let me know if you have tried any of them, what you thought about them, if you're planning on trying any of them. You can always come back also to let me know how they ended up working for you. And let me know which brand you would like me to do a whole video on their mascaras all in one like this. I will be able to keep that in mind for my next one. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, that you found it helpful with pictures, the reviews, all of the above. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and to subscribe if you don't want to miss any future videos, and I will see you in my next one. By the way, I will be also linking on the screen the other ones that I've done in the past, so if you want to see more. I have done 3 in the past, so you definitely have a choice. Most of them are also drugstore because I think there's a bunch of drugstore mascaras that are totally worth the money, so don't forget to check these out too.